Hi, it's me, Judy, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about Rockin' Ribfest today. It's on June 15th, 16th, and 17th, which is Father's Day weekend. It's also the weekend of it ends motorcycle weekend, and it also is the opening of the Merrimack Premium Outlets. So it's going to be a big weekend. We need lots of volunteers. I know some of you have already signed up, so thank you very much. Please feel free to sign up for multiple days, multiple shifts. This is a huge event for us. It is a fundraiser for us because the Rotary raises money and gives partial proceeds to all of the volunteers. So the more volunteers we have, the more money we'll raise for Granite State Ambassadors. Plus, of course, we'll be welcoming all the guests on June 15th, 16th, and 17th. It's located at the Anheuser-Busch grounds. So there you go. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on. We had a pre-event meeting already that a lot of you have come to, and this is going to be kind of a recap of what's going on and how the plan is becoming reality. And I say plan becoming reality because actually this is the first year we've done it. It's the first year that the Nashville Rotary West has incorporated hospitality to their event, including the parking lots. We're going to be the first people that the guest sees when they come to the event, and we're going to be the last people they see when they leave. So it's going to be really important that we greet them to New Hampshire or into Merrimack with all the gusto we can as Granite State Ambassadors. On this particular slide, you'll see all of the different parking lots. If you see here, this is kind of an overview of everything. This is all on Google Plus, and I will have a link to Google Plus maps on, sorry, not Google Plus, but Google Maps, so you can see all of these maps and be able to zoom in and out and be able to actually, if you wanted to, take a ride and look at them. We are going to have on June 13th, we will have an orientation, and we'll be driving to each of these parking lots and in locations, so you'll physically be able to see them. The event will be being put up. Most of the tents will be up by that day. So, of course, as you can see here, here's the event. And right across the street is what's called the Elbit parking. Now, these parking lots might have really interesting names, but that's because that's the business that the parking lot is. So these are all companies and businesses that have large parking lots that are being rented by the Rockin' Ribfest team and allowing people to park. Now, remember, nobody has ever had parking lot hospitality in here before, so it's all going to be trial and error. We're going to have team managers or supervisors at each location to help people meander in and out. Granite State Ambassadors meander in and out. Our shifts are about 3 hours on the ends, the beginning of the day and the end of the day. And in the middle of the day, when it's really busy, we've cut that down to 2.5 hours for multiple reasons. Number one, 2.5 hours is a long time in a really busy location. Number two, to get there and to get out, it's going to be a lot more difficult because of the traffic. So the Elbit parking here, which is right across the street from Anheuser-Busch, is a pretty large parking lot. As you can see, there's a north end and a south end. In the middle here is the actual building. So people will be coming in this, where it says north. This is the drive-in, and they'll start parking here. And what happens is when this gets filled, they think the parking lot is filled, so they leave. But fortunately, we have this whole other area. So, and a lot of people will just walk down this little path and cross the road to go to Anheuser-Busch. But there is a bus that will take them right down to Anheuser-Busch. And we're going to be in the parking lots. I'm not exactly sure whereabouts we're going to set up, but we will have a location, which will have a table, an umbrella, some paperwork for us. And it'll be a lot, at night there'll be lights, it'll be lit, and there are porta potties at each location. So that's something that everybody has asked. Watch the videos, you'll hear some of the questions that the GSA's asked and some of the answers that both myself and the Ribfest team has given us. The next location is what we call Harris Pond, and it's like a little, oh, sorry, that's BAE. Harris Pond is over here. Team B, Harris Pond. And this is like a little kind of a plaza or a mall if you drive in. Very easy, not as big as these other parking lots. You can see from one end to another, so we won't need as many people there, but we still want a presence there so people know that a bus is coming. We'll also have people driving on the buses, and I'll go into that a little bit more later. The next location is C, and that is BAE parking, and that is a very huge parking lot. As you can see, I've broken down on the right-hand side about how many spaces there are in each lot. As you can see, Team C is going to be a big team. We have 600 spaces on the north side, 300 on the south side, and 200 on the upper lot. This location right here is on the upper lot. There are two entrances, one on the north end and one on the south end, and there it's funny, when I drove it, it's really hard to find the little street that goes into the south end. So again, people have trouble. Once they come in here, they think that's it. Or if they come in the south end, that's it. But there's not. There's a whole nother parking area. And so that's kind of the big overview. Also, we're going to be on site at Anheuser-Busch at the sidewalks where people will be able to get dropped off from the buses and get back on their buses. So we'll have a team of GSAs there helping out. Here's the big overview again. Daniel Webster Highway. Here's the F.E. Everett Turnpike. There are going to be parking signs up on the highway so that Rock and Ribfest people will use exit 7 and 11. And the mall, which is opening the outlets, Merrimack Premium Outlets, they're going to be indicated to use exit 10 only. Now, as we all know, people don't read signs and people don't listen. So people are going to come in any way they want, but this is what the highway plan is. And there's going to be multiple signs, lots and lots of signs to let them know. All three parking lots are along Route 3, which is the Daniel Webster Highway here. So all of our parking lots are here, and they're kind of clearly indicated. Parking, parking, parking. Here is the event right here at Anheuser-Busch. Relatively straight shot from one place to another. The grand opening of the premium outlets is going to be on June 14th, which is the Thursday. So the big opening is on Thursday. The times will be noted, but they estimate it's going to be 9 to 9. We're not sure yet. We are going to have information by that time, but we won't know until that time or a little bit before that time. We'll have 3 GSAs at the express bus at the outlets. So we'll be able to help. There's an express bus that's going to be able to bring people back and forth from Rock and Ribfest. So we'll pull from the other parking lots because we don't have sign up. And I may redo all the sign ups only because doesn't seem to work as well. Here is the Google Maps, but I will put it so it's a link for you in case you can't link this. Okay, so again, the Elba team, which is right across, we're going to have a flagger. Hopefully this is what the team is going to look like. We're going to have one team leader, a flagger at the bottom of the hill, a flagger at the top, a flagger at the entrance to the field, which is right over here, and a guide path. Here's a person that will be like kind of in the guide. And then there are, there's parking here just for volunteers, excuse me, not our volunteers, but the Rock and Ribfest volunteers. So we had 2 guides there, 2 greeter stations. We thought we'd have one on the north end and one on the south end, and 2 floaters so they can jump around, and then 1 bus rider. So as you can see, we are staffed to the highest level. So I'm hoping we're going to be able to, because we don't know what to expect. So I'm hoping we're going to be able to get enough GSAs on each shift. But if not, I've overestimated, so we can go down to only a few. It's just going to be a little bit more difficult to do. So the more, the merrier. Again, Harris Pond, as you can see, it's nice and flat, easy to see from one end to another. This is like a little shopping mall. And we have a lot smaller of a staff. We have only 5 people per shift. Again, BAE, huge, huge lot. I think sometimes these pictures are deceiving, but these are huge buildings, huge lot. You can see we have quite a big staff. Anheuser-Busch, we'll have a team leader down there. This is going to be an area where it's going to be very restricted. There's not going to be able to have cars coming down because the buses come down, and there'll be police, and you'll have to have a special parking validation to get in. So parking, handicap, and drop off. They're anticipating to be able to drop off. So if you have like a car full of people and children, you may be able to drop those people off and then just loop around and go park. We're not sure about that yet. So just we'll let you know as time gets closer. And this is where we're going to also have the volunteer check-in, not Granite State Ambassador check-in. You'll check in at your specific location with your supervisor or your team leader. All the other volunteers for Rockin' Ribfest will check in at the volunteer event check-in, and we're going to be helping doing that. So we'll be actually checking in other volunteers and giving them their passes and their wristbands or whatever it is that they get. And we're looking like that's going to be about 11 people per shift. And then Team E, which is going to be sidewalkers, I call them, people who walk along the sidewalks to help people get information, but as they get off the bus, beer tent people, and ground walkers. So here's another view of how it looks, depending if you're visually circular or if you're linear. Here's a linear, exactly what I was just talking about. And you'll see that we're looking for 528 shifts, event shifts. So that's a lot of people. Again, Albert, big parking lot. BAE, big parking lot. Harris, smaller. Having these people at Anheuser-Busch will be great, but you know, if we have 2 people greeting the guests, that's how it's going to have to be. And we're going to have 2 NHGSA managers, not the team leaders, but the managers. Team leaders are actually going to be you guys. We'll train each of the teams as it gets closer to the event. So team leaders will communicate and coordinate with the other managers to ensure that the guests have a really good event experience. We're going to be in communication with everybody, including the Rotary people and all of the Rockin' Ribfest employees, or not employees, but volunteers that are in charge. Greeters. So this is kind of what it's anticipated to have at each of the locations. There'll be buses. There'll be a little table and chairs with an umbrella. There's lighting, and there's porta potties. So basically what you're going to want to do is chat with the guests, hand out programs, raffles, and prizes if they get any. They're thinking of getting a whole bunch of little tchotchke things that they can hand out, stickers and stuff for the kids. You're going to want to remind people to leave all food items in the car because they won't be able to bring anything into the event. Also, to make sure they bring their IDs, because if they're of age, because they're going to need an ID to get a beer, period. I don't care if you're 100 years old, you're going to need an ID to get a beer. And make sure that there's no pets and anything. We don't have to police the parking lots. We have police on site. So all you'll have to do is just say, oh, you know, you're going to be gone for a long time. It's probably not a good idea to leave your dog in the car because the police are patrolling. And if somebody says, the heck with it, I don't care, I'm going to leave my dog in the car or my kids in the car or my wife in the car, then just let the police on duty know. Flaggers will stand at the entrance and will help people kind of know that this is a parking area, guide people in. We'll have like little vests, and we'll have flags and all of the stuff that we need. We're also going to be able to help people get from one part of the parking lot to the other and to know if that parking lot is filled. Just take note, excuse me, that we are going to circulate everybody. So if you're a flagger for 15 minutes, the next position you have might be riding the bus for a half an hour. So we're going to try to circulate people around to the different areas and have everybody experience one area or another. Not parking lots, but within your own team, just so you don't, not one person gets stuck with flagging all the time and the other person gets to ride around on the bus for 2.5 hours. The floaters will help wherever they're needed. They'll, you know, ride along with the guests and chat with people. If you're a bus driver, and you'll just float in and out of whatever location is needed, helping the guest as required. Event greeters, these are the people that will greet the people as they exit the bus right on site at Anheuser-Busch, right at Rock and Ribfest. And you'll show them where to get tickets, and if they've already got their tickets, where to go from there. And you'll also have additional programs and information if they haven't gotten one from the parking lot. Check in. We're going to be helping the community volunteers to ease the gates, so everybody's not jammed up at the gates, but they'll be able to come and go very easily because they'll be identified and they won't have to stand in lines. I think they're going to have a special hand stamp or a wristband or something. I'm not sure. We'll have clipboards and lists of the agencies where people are coming from, like the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, whatever organization they're from. And there'll be Rotarians in the administration tent, which will be helping you out and giving out the assignments and the aprons and all of that stuff. So we will be working closely with, again, I said, this is really a new event for us and new to have us there with them. They're very excited to have us with them. So it's all going to be trial and error, and we're going to do the best we can and just do what we do. So the information people, again, the sidewalkers are stationed on the main walkway to answer questions. The beer tent people will direct people to get their ID checked and then to get tickets and then to the beer tent. It is a huge process to get a beer at this location, and it's intentional on how they do that. So you have to get a ticket and you have to get your ID checked at a different tent than where you actually buy your beers. And then the walkabouts will roam the grounds, helping to, it says here, to answer questions and sell raffle tickets, which is what they originally told me, and I don't think that's true anymore. So this particular one will be the first one to go if we don't have enough people, because it's just extra added value on the grounds. So the on-site managers, as I said, will be there to ensure the safety and the well-being of our GSAs. That's our priority, and we'll be the interface between the Rotarians and make sure that everybody is doing what they're supposed to do and working hard. I will say that I don't think Kelly, and I know Amy are not going to be managers on site. Kelly, I think, has a Girl Scout event. I'm not sure. And Amy is very pregnant, and so she is going to be volunteering sometime, but she didn't want to be on her feet for extended periods of time. So we have Gretchen, Nathan, myself, and Whitney's coming back. If you remember Whitney used to work with us about 2 years ago, and she's going to come back and do some managing on site with us. And that's about it. So if you have any questions, please let us know. I'm going to be pushing this out and giving you guys some pokes in the near future just to make sure that we can get this up and running. And thank you very much for your attention.